Nothing major with the layout change. Okay. Alright, so since we last had our session, if we want to look at it like this, Kevin and Chloe were level 117. Fast forward 3 in-game hours? Or 4? Wait. Yeah, the 3 hours. Yeah, they're level 130 something now. Mobile forever. Wow. Watching on mobile. Nah, just kidding. Usually when I wake up in the morning, just kind of go about my routine. I just kind of like turn on someone's stream just so I can have something to listen to while I like do everything. You thought it's the PS4 app they ignore? But yeah, I did a good amount. But I've always been lacking with the FFC. Yeah, FFC really does help a lot with like QOL and other customizable things on with Twitch UI and everything. Why not both? But yeah, like with the default Twitch layout, it just bothers me that like the chat takes up like such a wide space. So like I just like shrink it down in the FFZ settings so I can have more like screen space of the actual stream. Though one side effect of making the chat window more thin or narrow is that I mean it's not really much, but I think when it comes to loading up, I think the emote list or the channel points thing, if I even bother with it, I don't really, to be honest. It just gets cut off because it just sets itself to what the default size is and not to what you set it to in FFZ, obviously. So it just looks like you just have like parts of this window that's just cut off and you can't access it. But yeah, I can't really see using Twitch without FFZ, pretty much. Is that what it looks like in Discord? Okay, let me see. What the heck? It's not that bad, but they basically took the top bar and then just dragged it down. Sure? Yeah, it's nothing too bad. Oh, whoops. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. Okay. But basically, Orbans and stuff, I did a whole bunch of grinding, just spent some earlier to get people with like tier 5 gems and all. And kind of fiddled around with like who would really need what and all that. Also, I just realized that or while I was grinding, Devastation Blast and Calamitous Blast are freaking broken. I mean, like, we used this a little bit in the last boss fight, but these things are goddamn broken. Like, the base damage they do is insane. And thanks to the upgrades, I can actually have Father Kevin be basically the I'm not sure what you would call these 3 groups of elements together, but yeah, he has Mirage, Space, and Time all put together now. So that's pretty good. Like, Father Kevin kind of has a good amount of coverage with what he can do. Chloe, obviously, she's meant for water, or for water and all. Also, because she has water, she also has energy drain, so she can actually lifesteal. How good this is, I've yet to test it out, but we'll see. For Ren, I decided to remove some of her wind-related stuff and kind of change some things around so that she can actually use the Onyx gem. So she can't use wind stuff anymore, as well as I forgot what the other thing was, but yeah, I just made her overall faster because I kind of want her more focused on attacks more than casting spells, but basically with how strong Ren is as a character, like, she can just do anything, pretty much. The problem is trying to spec her out to do everything, or most of what she can do with this setup. Oh, the prison, wow. Hey, Ice Cream, hey Cav, how you guys doing? Oh wait, wait, I forgot Cav was here. Don't mind me, my brain's being derpy while I'm trying to explain everything that I've done off stream. It's quite a lot. Wait, hold on. Let's see. I lost my train of thought for a second. Oh yeah. So got these other gems and stuff for Joshua. I ended up putting the death gem or orbment on, or yeah, the death quartz on Joshua. Because Ren, it's kind of redundant because her kit already centers around instant chaos with her S-break and crafts. So it's like, might as well give it to Joshua because this slot right here is a time slot. I mean, the only other option would be to kind of just slap in like cast 2 fortune or memory, which value-wise it doesn't really give you much to work with, so I thought I'd just do this. And I basically just got Joshua like energy drain to work with. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I wanted to do, but I thought I'd just put it there pretty much. As for everyone else, I kind of unequipped mostly everyone. Tita is kind of fixed for sure. Josette, I don't want to bother. Yeah, Shara, she finally has her, or almost has her preferred setup. I think I need to upgrade these, but we'll see later if I can push things even higher. And yeah, everyone else, well, Colonel Richard's still kitted out decently. But yeah, I just kind of left everyone else unequipped until we need to put them back in pretty much. Oh yeah, and as for items, I tried grinding for what I think is Tita's like improved weapon from the Bazooka Dwarves. I cannot for the life of me get that thing to drop. But you know what did drop? When I was farming Shining Palms? I got Einklein +1. And just, sure. They weren't, like, these guys, like, Josette and Olivier aren't exactly meant for physical damage, but hey, a special monster drop weapon is a special monster drop. And, oh yeah, we're also, like, not really doing too well on Mira right now. I mean, I know we have a lot of this, but considering that every tier 5 gem is, costs 1k, and across how many characters we gotta work with here? You know, 16 characters. Oh boy, all the Sepith just goes away fast. But yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to cover really. So let me check. I have everyone's accessories ready, right? Yeah. Alright then. Let's go. Oh, actually, before we carry on to the 6th plane, I think there was a door that I needed to go through. Playful Minstrel, Olivier. Oh, right. Olivier and Mueller. Right, I forgot about that. I should have equipped them out, or should have equipped them to begin with. Oops. Oh, that's what I also forgot to do. I forgot to level up Mueller, Tita. Oh yeah, I guess Josette as well. Whoops. Okay, so let's just go sell some of these real quick. Actually, no, we'll keep some of those. Space, we're running out. Can't do that. You know, maybe I should have thought about it before I converted. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's also the kitty suit. Oh yeah, and the Strega. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's much better. You know what, I'll just buy another one. Let's see, Ren, need to take these out real quick. So, Tiger Heart and... Blam Choker was it? No. Yeah, I think these were the ones I needed. And Olivier, Crimson Eye. Oh yeah, also got... While I was farming for Tito's like new weapon, albeit unsuccessfully, I got a lot of long barrel plus 2s. The main difference is that it grants speed and dexterity, but... I'm really not impressed with that. Let's see, Sleep Fate, sure, I'll just put Crush Charm right there. Alright, I think that should be about it. Okay, let's get to that door. Bring to me the playful minstrel and his closest ally. There we go. I did say I would have. I did say I'd leave this for this stream. One month after the collapse of Liber Arc, the banquet to celebrate the crisis's successful resolution was over, with Estelle and her friends having largely left the capital to go elsewhere. One of them, however, Prince Olivier Reese Arner, sat rather comfortably in the ambassador's office in Gransel's Erbonian embassy, his work in a country not quite settled. I can't believe that you... I mean, my deepest apologies for not noticing that you were His Highness Prince Oliver sooner. Oh, the ambassador didn't know? Oh, so even Olivier had the ambassador fooled, huh? I guess... Okay, huh. Oh, I'm not surprised you never realized. I may be a prince, but my mother was a commoner. What point is there in bothering to remember my face? It's not as though I often showed myself in the palace or attended high society gatherings. Knowing me certainly isn't going to help you in moving up the ranks, my friend. There's no need to be so humble, Your Highness. Besides, I'm actually rather grateful to you, Ambassador. You gave me all kinds of useful advice during my stay here at the embassy that I'm sure will be to my benefit in the future. Well-meant words such as act like a man of the Empire for once in your life, and stop idling here, go home and try doing some damn work. What a hell of a thing to tell the prince of your empire. Your Highness, I was only, I mean, Your Highness, I think you've tormented him enough for one day. The ambassador behaved in the same way any other sane man would in his position. If anything, I'd say he has every right to be angry at us for keeping the truth from him for so long. But Mueller... I suppose you're right. I'll spare him any more teasing for now. I actually wasn't joking about being grateful to you, though. You truly have done admirable work over the past month. I have? Acting as a pipeline with the Empire, checking the safety of Erbonians residing in the Borough, helping the international liner service to resume. And those are only the tip of the iceberg. You've done so much more. You have my deepest thanks as a prince of the Empire. I am not worthy of such praise, Your Highness. You, however, deserve the utmost for braving the danger you did flying up to the Liber Arc. All of what happened seems to have caused quite the commotion in our homeland. So the people seem to be rather relieved now that they know that the danger has passed. It's all thanks to your courage that they are able to rest easy. Oh, there's no point in flattering me, Ambassador. I just did what I could. Nothing more, nothing less. And I couldn't have done anything alone. All I was able to accomplish was thanks to the help of those around me. Fairly removed from the stereotype Erbonians as stern, strong, and self-sufficient, if I do say so myself. As rude as it may be to agree, perhaps you're correct. And yet I believe your willingness to be flexible most definitely helped rather than hindered you here. I believe people like you are exactly what the Empire is going to need in the future. Excuse me. Regardless of how I may feel about His Excellency the Chancellor's approach. Ambassador. Well, this is a surprise. I was under the impression that you supported the Chancellor. Then again, you are a noble. Does that lead you to oppose his reformist policies, perhaps? I may be a noble on paper, but I'm only a baron. All in all, I generally fall in favor of his reformist policies. Be that as it may, while this may just be the result of being in the borough for so long and being influenced by the ways of its people, I do sometimes find myself becoming frightened by his hardline approach. Can't help but wonder exactly what direction he's trying to take our old nation. Interesting. Your Highness? Oh, I was just thinking that I'm quite glad to have taken the chance to engage in such fruitful talk with you just before departing the country. I pray you will continue doing all you can to ensure the peace of the borough and its surrounding nations while I'm gone. Preferably in cooperation with Ambassador Cochrane. Yes, let's not forget her, I suppose. Still, it's true since the Non-Aggression Pact was signed, there has been some progress with regards to the crossbow problem. And given that it was the borough who proposed said pact, that makes my role in future negotiations very important indeed. I presume this is what you're trying to say. You're a sharp one, my good man. Excellent. Now I can return to the capital with my mind at ease. Leave everything here to me, Your Highness. I'll be looking forward to hearing what you achieve back in our homeland. Tune in next time in Trails of Cold Steel. This truly is a country like no other. Never thought the day would come when I would hear things like that from a noble of the Empire. Indeed, he's apparently somewhat less of an obstinate man than I thought he was. Perhaps this nation's very air has the power to genuinely change people. It seems to have an effect on you too. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more smiles from you these days than I used to. I'm loath to admit it, but that may well be true. I still find myself wishing that you would learn from Librelian's dignity and sense of restraint, however. Two qualities you don't particularly possess in any measure. In fact, you have far too much of their opposites. You say that, but these qualities are the only weapon that I have. I don't have much that will allow me to compete against the Chancellor, and I use what little happens to be tucked in my corner as best I can. Have there been any changes to our plans? None. We should be able to proceed as we able. Okay. Man. The slight fumbles in translations have been becoming more and more frequent as we progress through the second chapter to this game now. We able. 3 days ago, the Chancellor left the capital on a tour of Eastern Erbonia. Tomorrow you'll be returning there aboard the air sail while he's still out in the east. All those who need to be made aware of our return have been given proper notice. Your arrival in Erbonia will make a real impact. Of that, I'm certain. What potential obstructions to the plan are there present? Nothing major. There have been some movements in the Intelligence Division's 4th subdivision, but not much. There's a chance that everyone is being cautious because the air sail is involved. But I put greater odds on the idea that everyone is just treating this as a pompous performance by you and not taking it seriously. Well, they'd be right to, it is. I have no choice but to start here, even if this means I have to use the burl. And if I'm going to put on a show, why not put the finest one the skies have ever seen? I suppose I can't argue that. I'm sorry to trouble you at this late hour, Your Highness. A message has arrived for you from, Heimdallr. What would you have me do? Really? Alright, come in. Pardon me. Who's this fancy boy? What if it isn't the student council president. Holy shit. The guy who kept ditching like his president duties and still somehow aced every final exam. He's an Erbonian noble? Oh my god. I mean, he did like foreshadow like some message saying that it was something along the lines of we'll meet later, or something about meeting later with different circumstances, something, but I wasn't expecting Erbonia. Huh. I've been exceptionally busy with work since this morning, I'm afraid. Oh, he's a secretary? Oh, huh. I'd hoped to be able to come and see you earlier, since you'll be leaving tomorrow. I'm terribly sorry for not being able to. Oh, I kind of wonder if all that goofiness from Olivier rubbed off on Lecter with how he was in the academy. Oh, never mind that. If that work of yours is done now, we three could always enjoy some sensual quality time together for the remainder of the night. So, what was the message from the Capitol Secretary? He just ignored him. They have acknowledged receipt of His Highness's message. However, they didn't anticipate that you may be able to arrive all the way from Granto in less than half a day. As such, they're currently in a minor panic trying to ensure everything's ready for the ceremony tomorrow. That doesn't come as a surprise. There's nothing like the air sail when it comes to speed at home. How cruel you both are for so deftly ignoring my proposal. Although it sounds as though the stage will be set in time, now I need to decide on an outfit that will leave everyone's jaws on the floor to sweeten my arrival. Perhaps a glistening coat and a white loincloth will do the trick. That'd make a grand impact, alright? I almost wish I could go along and see it myself. Please don't encourage him. You show remarkable promise for someone so young. What do you say coming back on the air sail with me? I'd welcome your company. Oh, yo, wait. I wonder if Lecter would be, cause with how I'm pretty sure he's gonna be an important character in the series. I wonder if he's playable in Trails of Cold Steel. There's no way they just have him show up like this and then just not use him. Especially considering Olivier's relationship here with everyone. Huh. Alright. Something to look forward to, I hope. Hopefully I'm not getting my hopes up, but let's see what he can do. Your work here in the borough is just about done as it is, isn't it? Your offer's certainly tempting, but I'm afraid I have another job to take care of. Damn it! The thought is appreciated, of course. Really? Well, that is a shame. Good luck with that next job of yours. Thank you. Well, if you'll excuse me. So, that is Second Secretary Lecter Arundel. Is it safe to assume he's one of the Chancellors? Almost definitely, yes. He came through Hawken Gate on foot and took up his new position at the embassy a month ago. And right around the same time we headed to Liberal Ark aboard the air sail at that. There's no way that could possibly be coincidence. No, it couldn't. The most likely possibility seems to be that he's part of the intelligence division. Oh, okay. So much for party member, Lecter. Well, I'm sure not doing anything regarding him all this time was a good idea. Oh, absolutely. We needed some way to find out what the Chancellor was up to after all. We'll probably get some kind of reaction from the Chancellor through his reports at some point. Probably in about 2 weeks when the Chancellor's tour is finished. You planned that far ahead all along, had you? Well, in that case, I'm sure that we'll be ready. I'll be counting on you, love. Oh, something the matter? Not really, it's just that the moon has come out. And what a beautiful full moon it is. It's strange to think that this will be the last time we'll see the moon from here. Truth be told, I'm going to miss it. Well, well, it looks like putting a smile on your face has, It looks like putting a smile on your face a little more often isn't the only thing Liberal's done for you. It's opened up your eyes to life's natural beauty as well. But in all seriousness, we'll just have to do all we can to be able to come back and see it again one day. While we're both still alive. Indeed. Man, I'm really curious to how Cold Steel plays out, goddamn. The next morning. Because, like, I know that since it takes place in Erbonia and all, Olivier will have, I'm pretty sure, like, some significant role to it, but we'll see. Your Majesty, Your Highness, I humbly thank you both for your generous hospitality during my stay in your fine kingdom. You were even gracious enough to humor my brazen request of escorting me back to Heimdall aboard the air sail. This debt I owe you will be repaid many times over in the future, rest assured of that. Oh, you needn't worry you needn't think of this as anything we went out of our way for. Escorting an honored guest, an honored state guest back home is a matter of course. Particularly a guest to whom we owe a great debt of gratitude. If you ever have the opportunity, please do come back to Liberal again in the future. I imagine Estelle and Joshua will be back by then too. So we'll all be able to give you a nice warm welcome. I'm already excited for my next visit. Have they left the country yet, by the way? They're busy getting ready to leave in Roland at the moment, I believe. I'm planning to see them off when the time comes. I see. Incidentally, while the ruins of Hamel are currently closed off, I'll do what I can on my end to ensure they're allowed inside. Could I trouble you to pass that along to them? Certainly. Thank you very much, Your Highness. Oh, think nothing of it. It's the least I could do after all they've done for me. I owe you a great deal too, Cassius. If not for your assistance, stopping that armored division from crossing to Liberal wouldn't have been as simple as it was. I could say the same to you. Still, as I'm sure you're aware, that outcome will have been well within the realm of possibility for the Chancellor. I doubt he was even surprised by the incident. Really? Most likely not. Urbonia had nothing to, Urbonia had nothing, anything. I guess the localization had 2 sentences in mind and forgot to erase the other one. Urbonia had nothing to gain from using that situation to occupy Libero. Certainly not to the extent that it would be going out of their way to develop inefficient steam tanks. The only reason I can see for him doing what he did was a show of power to other surrounding nations, a statement that even without overpower, Urbonia's army could still act. I indeed suspect that was his true aim all along. Goodness. So you did notice. The overshutdown phenomenon was a complete unknown to the rest of the continent. Perhaps it might never occur again, but there's always a chance it might, whether it's here or somewhere else entirely. I hear the Empire has only built a relatively small number of those tanks in all, too. Certainly not enough to launch a full-scale invasion. By the sounds of it, they were just put together in Reinford's factories, using parts intended for standard orbital tanks. But as it stands, the know-how to put together tanks like that only exists in the Empire, and in these unpredictable times, no other nation has the time or resources to try and develop extremely inefficient steam-powered weaponry. In a sense, because of what just happened, the Imperial Army's effect as a deterrent is even greater than ever. He's using war as a diplomatic tool, and very effectively at that. None of this had even occurred to me. I have a long way to go before I'm fit to be a ruler of this country. Oh, don't beat yourself up too much about it. He's no ordinary foe to even the most hardened veterans. The Chancellor always seems to be thinking several steps ahead of the rest of the world. It's impressive no matter what we may think of his actual ideas. I'm quite the reckless fool to be trying to challenge him, if I do say so myself. Oh, don't be silly, Your Highness. How can you say that with a smile on your face is utterly beyond me? You should focus on building yourself a strong foothold to begin with. I do hope you'll be careful. No matter what may occur, be sure not to lose sight of exactly where you stand. Of course, Your Majesty. If I were to go and bring shame upon myself now, I'd be wasting all the effort involved in escorting me back home. I'll be sure to take what you've said to heart. Excuse me, Your Majesty. Uh-oh. Oh, the headmaid? Hilda? Whatever is the matter? It's not often I see you so flustered. My apologies, Your Majesty. It's just that a guest for you arrived all of a sudden at the castle. Ordinarily, I would not have rushed in while you were meeting up with others, but the visitor is so irregular that I thought you should know at once. Irregular? How so? It sounds like it's about time I take my leave then. Actually, the visitor said he would like to greet you as well, and not just Her Majesty. What? Lola? Just who is this visitor? Well... Oh, fuck. He introduced himself as Chancellor Gileath Osborne of the Arbonian Empire. Lecter. That is an evil punchable face if I ever saw one. It's an honor to be granted a personal audience. I'm Gileath Osborne, representative of the Imperial Government. My apologies for the abrupt intrusion. So you're Chancellor Osborne. And it's a pleasure to see you again, Your Highness. It's been a year since we last met, has it not? I hope these passing months have seen you well. Yes, a year sounds about right. Still, while I hope you'll forgive me for asking, just what did prompt someone of your stature to appear at the castle without warning? And I'd very much like to hear your side of the story. My apologies, Your Highness. You see, these past few days I've been touring Eastern Erbonia on routine inspections. It's been going very smoothly, more so than I initially anticipated. I had enough free time in my schedule to pay a cordial visit. Oh my, is that so? Naturally, I would have preferred to come here while the crisis was still unfolding like you yourself did, Your Highness. Unfortunately, the confusion in southern Erbonia was simply too pressing a matter, and I had no choice but to deal with that first. This was the first chance that presented itself to come here and meet directly with Her Majesty, so I acted with the utmost expediency. I hope you forgive my lack of proper decorum in failing to give advance notice of my arrival. That does make sense, at least. Regardless, please don't concern yourself with me. No doubt you wish to offer your greetings to Her Majesty. Why, thanks, Your Highness. Well then, allow me to extend my most heartfelt greetings to both of you, Queen Alicia, and Princess Claudia. It's abundantly clear that the crisis that unfolded here has been quite the ordeal for yourselves and for your nation's people. You have my deepest sympathies for the hardships you've endured, as well as my commendation for bringing the situation under control. I thank you for your kind words, Your Excellency. If anything, we should be apologizing to you for the fact that the southern side of your nation was caught up in what should have been our problem. We should be the ones going to you rather than having you trouble yourself to come all the way to the borough. I beg you to apologize, or to accept our apologies together, with my deepest thanks for coming here today. I would never ask for apologies. I have heard what happened was the work of a shadowy organization stirring up trouble within your borders. While I meant well by sending a military force to aid you, I wouldn't have done something so careless had I known the truth of the matter. My actions were rash, foolish even, and I was rightfully reprimanded by His Imperial Majesty for them. Oh my. Fortunately, His Highness the Prince was able to act with all due haste to put right my misstep before even greater harm was done. I owe you great debt of gratitude for that, Your Highness. And congratulations besides for your part in bringing an end to the crisis. Oh, I did nothing out of the ordinary. I had a lot of help from Her Majesty, Her Highness, and Brigadier General Bright here too. Bright, you say? It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Excellency. I am Cassius Bright, a Brigadier General in the Liberalian Royal Army. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you. Your name is rather well known even in the Empire. Not as much as yours is known here in the borough, I would imagine. It's an honor to be able to speak with you in person. It certainly is a surprise to be able to, though. Coming here on a whim couldn't have been easy for a man as busy as yourself. It sounds as though I may have underestimated just how capable you truly are. Not at all. I was greatly impressed to see the Royal Army's effectiveness in dealing with the tumult here. Your forces have proven quite powerful yet flexible, capable of dealing with emergencies ably and decisively. I might go so far as to say it embodies an ideal that the Imperial Army, with its swollen ranks, could never hope to realize. You flatter us, Your Excellency. For your part, I hear you're responsible for the establishment of the Imperial Army's famed intelligence division. Our army is in desperate need of a new one of its own, so I find myself quite envious. It sounds as though the two of us each have what the other has. Or want what the other has, blah. So it does. May I ask, Your Excellency, what will you be doing now? For my part, I'm intending to leave the borough today, so I'm afraid I won't be around much longer. Yes, so I've been told. I believe you're intending to make your grand arrival in Heimdallr, aboard the famous air sail. I'm impressed you're already aware. I almost wish I could return to Erbonia on board it alongside you, but alas, I'm afraid I have other business demanding my attention after I'm finished here. Man, I'm really yawning a lot tonight. I'll be leaving Liberal separately this afternoon. That is a shame. I would very much have liked to invite you to this evening's banquet. Please, you do not need to go to such troubles on my account. I feel as though I put you out enough by showing up unannounced as I did, to say nothing of dining with such esteemed company. Still, I do have some time before the airship I'll be leaving on is due to depart. That being the case, might I ask for a little of your time, Your Highness? I have a few things I'd like to discuss with you personally. Very well. I have some matters I would actually like to discuss personally with you as well. What a fortuitous coincidence. Allow me to have a room arranged for the two of you to have your discussion then. Hilda, if you would. Certainly, Your Majesty. What, are they gonna have like a... I thought they were gonna have a duel. Just like right outside or something. A battle of wits, I'm sure. Mueller standing guard. Maybe he's keeping keeping his ear close to the door. It's obvious that Her Majesty's quite the tea fancier, if this blend is anything to go by. The fragrance, the temperature, the taste, I'd be hard-pressed to find fault with any of it. I've always been more of a coffee man myself, but I have no doubt that I'll be content with a cup of this at my desk each morning. As much as I agree with you, I don't believe we're here to talk about beverages. So, shall we get right to the point? What did you want to discuss with me? I see your sojourn in Libero has proven most fruitful. Pardon? When we last spoke, you struck me as a bright, flexible young man, and no doubt you still are. But now I see I see in you a resilient inner strength girding those aspects. I'm sure His Majesty would be most delighted with your personal development. Meanwhile, I see you're the same fearless man I've always known you to be. More so, even. That crushing aura about you seems to have only grown with time. It's as if you feed on the resentment of those who live in the territories you annex. Such harsh words. Such harsh words, Your Highness. Personally, I prefer the term political unification. Annex can carry such negative connotations, you know. Since the end of the 100 Days' War, our army hasn't committed a single act of aggression. Our unifications have been entirely peaceful. Oh, you're quite right about that. On the surface. Oh. It's amazing how similar the annexation process is every single time it happens. It starts with a small nation or an independent state with an array of problems beyond repair. Those problems start to worsen, after which Jaegers and other dangerous elements enter, plunging public order to an all-time low. Despite desperate for a solution, the local government requests help of the Imperial Army, and before they know it, they're part of the Empire. While it's not as though I can deny what you're saying, each instance does share certain commonalities. It's still to be expected, an inevitable consequence of the age of unchecked growth and progress in which we live. The Imperial Army simply acting in the Empire's best interests, helping to stabilize our neighbors for the good of the Empire. So have they set up or worked with Ouroboros so that they can try annexing Libero? That has, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much obvious as day right now, but yeah, them showing up with the steam tanks and all, with the Oriel popping up, that was their time to go in to probably help. Yeah, because if we let them help deal with the Jaeger Corps and all that stuff around the Burl, that would have been one step closer to getting annexed. Oh, and it's understandable that they would. I do find myself rather curious why Intelligence Division members are going to such nations with such peculiar frequency. Well before the problems I described worsen, no less. I won't press as to where you came by such information, as curious as I am. But I will say this, at its most basic level, these actions are about risk management. It's because we've been acting to minimize such risks beforehand that the army has been able to successfully quell each problem in turn. With a small price of earning the disdain of the people in those nations and an increased risk of terrorism in exchange, to tell you the truth, I'm rather astounded that you had the courage to come here to Liberl all on your own to begin with. After all, you've earned yourself the biggest target for terrorists in all of Erbonia. Your concern is touching, Your Highness. I would ask that you not trouble yourself with my safety. I employ some very skilled subordinates tasked primarily with eliminating the risk of terrorist attacks against me. Really now, Lecter. That Lecter is one of those, I assume? A rather peculiar fellow, isn't he? But he is, but a very useful one all the same, working out the scheduling for this trip and taking all the necessary precautions to ward off terrorist threats were both his doing, and thanks to his commendable efforts, I can depart for a crossbow free from worries as soon as I finish my business here. You know, that really makes me wonder how Trails from Zero will play out since it takes place in Crossbow and all. We'll be seeing Osborne more and more. And his plans playing out across, hell, even this game right now to Trails of Cold Steel. Crossbow? Are you surprised? I'll be participating in a top-secret discussion with the representative of the Crossbow government. Ah, no, they got an insider. Fuck. Recently, a large amount of funding has been flowing into the country through Republican channels, putting our allies on the defensive. I had always meant to visit at some point, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity. Are you out of your mind? Crossbow is full of enemies and different factions at each other's throats. I hear it's now even a hotbed for terrorists and criminal organizations because of its position as a buffer state. Does that really sound like the place the Erebonian Chancellor should be going even on an unofficial visit? I'm surprised to hear you advocating caution in the face of potential danger, Your Highness. After all, it was you who flew onto an ancient city at great risk to your own safety, and returned unharmed after surveying it. Compared to such rousing risk-taking, my visit to Crossbow will be child's play. As I'm sure you're aware, you're regarded as something of a hero back in Erbonia now. Ah, to see a hero make a grand return befitting his newly minted legend, aboard the famous Airsail, no less. Naturally, our hero has taken the time to ensure that every well-known newspaper and magazine are aware of his homecoming too. Oh, I have no doubt that your triumphant arrival will be every bit as glorious as it has played out in your imaginings, Your Highness. Being played for a fiddle. God, man. This is like one of the very rare, if not first instance, that Olivier actually looks like seething with rage right now. So everything Olivier has done was basically for nothing. Do be sure to capitalize on this chance as best you can to build yourself a firm foothold. I expected great things from you, after all. Man, I really want to see like a Legend of Heroes like anime, seeing all this play out. Although, just like seeing like an animated scene of Olivier being like outwitted by Osborne and the or what was it, Emperor? The guy, I keep forgetting the title names and all that, but I just want to see him slam his hand down on the desk or on the table. Screwy. Hey, buddy. You haven't changed a bit, huh? Screwy. Screwy. Really? Sounds like a ton's happened, huh? But it's nice to see you and your master doing alright. Screwy. Lecter? Well, well, good day to you, your highness. I pray I'm not causing any trouble by taking a tour of the castle like this. The view from this terrace is certainly beautiful, isn't it? What happened to you, Lecter? How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne? I'm sorry, I haven't the faintest idea of what you mean. Are you perchance mistaking me for someone else? Your name is Lecter Arundel. You were the student council president at Janus Royal Academy, which you attended before leaving suddenly 2 years ago. So no, I'm not mistaking you for someone else. Ah, but that's where you're wrong, because my name is actually Terrarundel. I can certainly see how our names could become mixed up, however, but they are scarily close. Aw, come on! Still, now you know. Please, just call me Lek. Don't try and joke around with me, Lecter. Do you have any idea how worried all of us were when you disappeared without a word? You submitted your notice to leave the academy and then were never seen again. Even the otherwise calm Leo let out a cry of anger when he found out. And all Lucy could do was give a sad smile and say, "This is just like him," the whole time with tears in her eyes. Jill and Hans were heartbroken and so was I. And yet after all that, all this time you finally show yourself, knowing full well that I'm here, and this is how you act? By pretending you're someone else. Lecter! Sorry, no need for the scary glare. You're still taking things way too seriously. Looks like it'll take more than stepping up as a Crown Prince to change that part in you. Oh. But, you know, seeing you makes me feel kinda relieved. I always figured if someone like you became Crown Prince, you have virtually no freedom to do anything other than work. But, from all that's reached my ears, it sounds like you're doing alright for yourself. And you've even made some great new friends after I left the academy, didn't you? Nice! I sure did. Nonetheless, it's thanks to you that I was able to change it all. You were the one who gave me the first push in the right direction. I never got the chance to thank you properly after you left. But all this time, I've always been grateful to you. Well, consider me honored. Do I get a kiss in return? You do not. I may feel respect toward you, but nothing romantic. Aw, that's a bummer. Now, there was me, all taken in by how pretty you'd become, wondering if this could be the start of something downright magical. But what happens instead, my dreams of romance and sweet smooches are crushed to nothing before they even begin. I know you don't mean a word of that, you know. You're looking very sharp yourself, though. It's surprising to see. Every time I've seen you before today, it was in that heavily frayed uniform worn in the most sloppy way imaginable. I think you'll find I was merely making a fashion statement. That wasn't laziness or sloppiness. Every part of it was carefully calculated and considered to have maximum effect. The scary thing is, I actually believe you. You always seemed as if you cared for nothing but having fun and causing trouble. Yet when it came down to it, you were wise beyond your years. And I've finally seen the part of the reason behind that today. I'll ask you again, Lecter. How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne like this? Just what happened to you between you submitting your notice to leave the academy and now? Do you now? I have to admit I never imagined that would be the case. On the contrary, I was expecting you to tell me to back off. Oh, ideas forbid! What reason would I have to suggest such a thing? After all, at the end of the day, our positions are functionally the same. I'm not sure I understand. Do you not think so? Personally, I find it difficult to believe that you would not harbor some hatred toward Erebonia as it is today. A grand empire clinging to the glories of a bygone era, ruled by the nobility and shackled by meaningless conventions. Am I wrong? People call me the Blood and Iron Chancellor as though I hold the whole of Erebonia in the palm of my hand. But in reality, my position is far more tenuous. Our supporters and allies in the capital, certainly, but outside its walls, the nobility holds far more sway than any of them. And while it is true I hold a great amount of power in the form of the Imperial Army, Even then, I only truly command around 70% of it. The remainder is loyal to the nobility, who also maintain their own private armies. With those factored in, my advantage shrinks substantially. So you see, I'm still very much in the midst of a battle to truly exert control. Which is why you're building railways all over the country to expand your area of influence, and you've been annexing new territory to that same end. As I've long thought, you clearly understand me better than anyone else. That is why I'll say this once again. Work with me, Your Highness. With your support, our nation will be able to bring real reform faster than ever. The noble faction, bloated with its century of decadence, can be stopped before they even have a chance to unify against us. Surely that is what you desire more than anything. Let me ask just a simple question, Chancellor. What connection do you have with Ouroboros? I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I will say this, however, I'm a firm believer in using every resource at my disposal in the name of achieving reform. Okay, yeah. That's the way I believe in handling politics. I see. Well, it certainly does seem as though we would see eye to eye in many ways. And that's all the more reason why I'm afraid I must refuse your offer. Is that so? Yes, I find it difficult to like the rotten noble faction that exists in the Empire. Or perhaps you're right that hate is a more appropriate word. But my feelings of fear toward your methods are far greater than my feelings of hatred toward the nobles. What you seem to be doing is trying to compel Arbonians with a delusive utopia to whip them into a enthusiastic frenzy. No doubt by successfully convincing the people, the old guard will fall into the metaphorical firestorm created, and yet by then, the gears will have already been turning. There will be no satisfying a roused populace with a thirst for revolution. The storm will just keep growing larger and more ravenous, engulfing anything and everything in its wake. You know this, don't you, Chancellor? But of course. After all, that's what I intend to happen. It's the first stage of my reforms. I'd be more than happy to share further details with you if you were to decide to work with me, Your Highness. In the meantime, I wish you well in sleep. In strengthening your foothold back in the Empire. Of course, if that's your intention, you'll find it a necessity to work with those nobles you so despise. You do truly see through everything, don't you? That sounds like the noon bell. The airship will be arriving shortly. Which means it's time for me to take my leave, I'm afraid. I'll look forward to seeing you again in the capital in 2 weeks' time. Come on, slam your hand down on the table. Let me see that rage. I take it that the discussion is over then. What's wrong? You look awfully tired. Oh, nothing. I'm just feeling odd and new at what a monster I decided to pick a fight with. Nah, Olivier would have to be really set off to actually lash out. Oopsie. I think it's probably about time for the airship to arrive. I'm gonna have to stop you there and get going. What? See. Next time I see you, I'll bring you some Arbonian salami as a souvenir, okay? Sweet! Wait, are you planning to just disappear without telling me anything a second time? Oh, got an important question for you. Did you, fall in love with someone while I was away? Oh, not just someone, with 2 people even! Hit the nail on the head, huh? Oh, that's so cute. First love, right? Also second love. How's that feel? Hard all flutter 1 minute and end of the world the next? Don't you dare start teasing me. But you're right. You're right though. I did. He rejected me in this very spot not that long ago. Wait, you're joking, right? There's a coincidence I didn't see coming. I'm not so sure about that. It feels as though you know everything sometimes. I'm not some kind of all-knowing, all-seeing divinity. That's what makes the world so interesting to me. Oh, wait, you're giving her a head pat? Excuse me? Oh. I'm happy for you, Chloe. Knowing the pain of lost love's what makes a girl blossom, in my humble opinion. Do you feel like the whole experience lets you get a step closer to the person you want to be? Well... What about you? Do you feel like you're getting closer to becoming the person that you want to be? By being at the Chancellor's side? Kinda hard to do that when I don't have a person I want to be to begin with. I'm just sticking with him because it feels like it'd be fun, that's all. I've been doing it ever since before I joined the academy, in fact. You have? That prince is proving surprisingly capable, but he still isn't a match for the Chancellor. Tell him to watch his back, alright? So that he doesn't get swallowed up by that monster after he gets tired of dancing. And he motions his arm up for goodbye as he walks away. Okay, okay. Goodbye, Lecter. Yeah, it's such a weird relationship that they got going on. I really do like seeing like all the complex like relationships like all these characters have with each other. Hey Origami, rip your gamble. Thank you all for waiting. The Calabria International airliner bound for the Principality of Remiferia. Principality? Please mind your footing when boarding. Wait, what are they going to the Principality? Oh, is the Principality in Wait. I'm forgetting where these places are. Is that in Crossbell or is that somewhere else? Still though, holy crap. Such a daunting, like, antagonist that we'll be facing later, I assume, in Trails of Cold Steel and Crossbell. Oh, Principalities in Crossbell? Okay. I was like, hey, Neoluke. But yeah, now I'm just really curious to see how things play out in Crossbell. Oh, wait. Oh, is that corner on the left side supposed to be the air sail? I thought, like, part of the world just got cut off from rendering. So, that was the Blood and Iron Chancellor. Can't believe he actually went out of his way to use a civilian airship when he probably has a private one of his own. I'd heard rumors about how out of the ordinary he is, but he lives up to all of them. He keeps me on my toes, to put it playfully enough. In Masai, thanks for coming all this way to see me off, Shara. I was lucky I just happened to have business here at the right time. It feels like this is going to be the last chance we get to see one another for a while, after all. Rather unfortunate, as my dream is and always was to live away my days in a lap of luxury surrounded by women as beautiful as you. Well, good luck with that. Changing the subject though, who was the young man at the Chancellor's side? He didn't strike me as your ordinary guy. Oh, you could tell. But of course. I'd say I'm used to running into people who are out of the ordinary at this point. We've sure fought enough of them. His name's Lecter Arundel. He's a secretary who was sent here by the Imperial government. Apparently he was the one who planned out all of the details of the Chancellor's visit to Liberal. I can't pretend to know much regarding his background, but he's exceptionally skilled at what he does. Actually, I know a little. What? Oh, is that true? Yes. Explained the Lecter once attended the same academy as her and had served as a student council president. She also mentioned his sudden disappearance after the academy festival 2 years ago. Unbelievable. Then, someone connected to the Chancellor had visited Liberal first. He's very likely to have had his own veritable information network established here long before I even came up with the idea. I think it's safe for us to assume that's the case, which also means that it's safe to assume he knows every detail about all that's happened here since. From the coup d'etat to the crisis regarding the Orient. All of it. This man gets more unbelievable by the minute. He actually gave me a message to pass on to you earlier too. Watch your back so you don't get swallowed up by that monster when you get tired of dancing. He sure knows how to sting where it hurts, huh, doesn't he? I feel I can see a whole new world of pleasure opening up before my eyes. He should know better. Getting outdone at every turn like this is really not my style. What do you mean? Captain Schwartz? I have a little favor to ask for when we're in the air. Don't you dare leave me in a cliffhanger. So, what's the surprise? Man, just like all the new things that they're setting up for the later games and for the Legend of Heroes series. Man, now I just really want to play the rest of the Legend of Heroes games, but goddamn. Like, at this point, how many months is this going to take for me to play through, like, the first Crossbell game? I'm pretty sure the second game doesn't have a translation patch, right? Like, and then the Trails of Cold Steel games, and I hear 4 is the last one in the Cold Steel series, so, I mean, we'll have to wait a while for the next set of games, assuming that they'll continue. But, goddamn. I'm rather impressed with how Prince Olivier has come along. No matter how he chooses to act from here on, he will have his uses to be certain. You would say that given that you think of everyone as your pawns. There's me, the prince, and that's society. So Cross Wiggins were original from PSP, so probably not that long to walk through. Maybe. Hopefully, actually no, I'm not sure about spitballing some random hour length, but yeah. Indeed. And I am much the same. We are but pawns in the vast game board that is the Empire, where a thrill like no other will take place. But it's because you, too, wish to see how that game plays out, that you've chosen to stand with me, is it not? Well, hey, what can I say? Just don't forget that this place right here might not be loyal forever. Just don't forget that this piece right here might not be loyal forever. And such a betrayal would be perfectly fine by me. Or did you honestly think that I'd never considered the possibility it may happen? I just thought I'd come on and say it. So how are the other Ironbloods doing, by the way? They're all doing very well by the sound of it. At the rate things are going, there's a chance all the prince's efforts will be for naught. Perhaps I ought to hold back on him a little. You sure don't pull any punches, do you? You know something? I wouldn't write him off so easily if I were in your shoes. What? Oh, hey. Okay. What? Oh, he's tossing them roses. These look like rose petals? If you look out the windows on the right-hand side of the airshow, you'll see the famous high-speed cruiser, the Air Sail. We've been informed that it is on its way to the Imperial capital, Prince Olivier of the Airbonian Empire, on board. Lady has also given us a message to relay to all the passengers on board today. I give thanks to Ideas for the good fortune to have been able to meet you today. May your journey be filled with beautiful roses and her blessings. And of course, may your journey to your homes be a safe and pleasant one. That marks the end of his message. Wait, so wait, what exactly was the significance of him just showing up here? What's going on? Or is that just him taunting him, just saying, like, I'm not out of this yet? Maybe that's just him just making a stand saying, I'm going to the end. I never thought there was a bigger dumbass in this world than me, and yet, here we are. Very well, debaucherous prince. I look forward to seeing what you can do. Show me how long you can hold out against me. Ah, so that was just like Olivier's way of throwing down or taking off the gloves. Divine Eye.